All right, what's up guys? This video might be a little weird because I'm pretty sure the pollen is making me lose my voice, so forgive me if I crackle like a teenager a few times here. So anyway, I figured I'd start in the back. Yeah, I got a tire. So in this tire, we do have these potatoes that I pointed out before. I was going to try to grow them in, this is pretty much just yard clippings. And as you can see, now, the potatoes I put in here, this is a shoot from one of them. I mean, these things were not in good shape at all. They pretty much stayed in my kitchen in just a little black bucket from, I mean, I want to say September-ish, maybe a little earlier than that, to a few weeks ago. So they had no water, no sunlight. You know, obviously they were in storage, but they had completely shriveled up. And look, I even got, I'm pretty sure that's more that'll be popping up there. So that is more successful than I thought it was going to be. And as these continue to grow up, I'll just keep piling on. I've been saving grass clippings, which I normally just let fall back onto the lawn. It's getting kind of a mess. I mean, we've hit the 90s in the past few days here. So, you know, things are really going to start exploding. And, yeah, it's just nuts. So you can see in this bed here, finally got a little action going, and I think I can even remove this black thing here. I have corn and the beets finally popping up. These should look a little more organized as they come up, because I actually did take the time to measure this out. And over here, just some herbs, a couple assorted flowers. I think we need some water back here. You know, got a few sunflowers in the back popping up, kale. My brassicas that I put outside are, you know, I mean, geez, what was it, February or so? Still alive. So even though they turned totally white and, I mean, looked dead, they were still alive. So it just goes to show that even if you don't harden them off, you can still get away with putting them outside. They were severely stunted, but they're alive. Raspberries finally bushing up over there. And now there is some grass that I didn't take care of here because I had really just flipped the sod, but I do have plenty of these wildflowers coming in, and I may even give them a light dusting of like some horse manure compost. I originally just kind of wanted to let the flowers take over and you know, be their own cover, and then you know, eventually they would go on to fertilize. I would put something else here. Now I'm thinking that, you know, maybe maybe a little fertilizer of some kind won't hurt them. Over here, now this Comfrey I cut completely down to the ground about 2 weeks ago, and now look at it. I mean, this stuff is insane. And you know, it's called a dynamic accumulator, and goddamn does it produce some biomass. But I got to trim this back because it's kind of blocking the light to some strawberries, radishes. Looks like we're probably about a week out from having the radish at an edible state. I got my upland cress is flowering. I just kind of like it as like, I mean, it's not a very beautiful plant, but I mean, look how happy these bees are. Just time of their life right now. You know, coming over here, we've got some asparagus, which I am like the worst about harvesting asparagus. I need to read up on how to do it properly, because I'm clearly doing something wrong. And then I finally did get around to mulching this a little better. I even have a little more mulch in the back of my car, so garden is a little more defined now, as you could say. So yeah, it really is starting to shape up. Quite proud of myself, honestly. Brassicas doing really wonderfully, mostly kale. I have one cabbage because it wouldn't fit in the raised bed. And you know, they do what they do. It's 90 degrees, so they're gonna droop a little bit in the sun. And honestly, I think I've decided I prefer to overwinter my brassicas than to start them early spring. It just, you know, here in Maryland, we have like a couple weeks of spring and then we're right into summertime. It already feels like July. The peas as well, if I can overwinter them next time, I will do that, because, you know, I've got these guys kind of stunted. Not stunted, but just slow growing. Or just now getting to the point where they're kind of starting to grab onto things. I think I only have one that's actually grabbing onto the support here. And you know, whereas on the side of the house I had a couple plants survive the winter, and that one's already got some peas on it. These guys are weeks out from even getting to that state. Oh, and random potatoes, because you never get them. It's funny, the things you try to grow and then they end up becoming weeds. They're such a struggle when you first try, and now you can't get rid of them. This bed is completely blank. This is going to be the left here, tomatoes and basil only. That's just my little, well, I might throw some other shit in there. And then here's the what's going to be the tomato guild. Already have some marigolds I transplanted a couple days ago. I put 2 tomatoes in. I got a couple basils in, and then I got the leeks running down the middle there. Probably still too close together. But you know, this is we got some rain and some relatively chilly temperatures coming, you know, this weekend. So I think it's supposed to get down to like the low 50s or so. You know, which tomatoes, and I think I'm more worried about the basil being affected by the cold, but it will still be pretty nice after that. So it's really just 2 days I got to deal with. The corn guild is doing wonderfully. The corn is finally popping up. I need to, these little red lettuces were ones I just kind of shotgunned in here. I actually made a salad with them last night. It's pretty tasty. You know, and then the escarole, the 2 escarole plants that made it are here. So I'm actually seeing a little bit of comfrey in here. I need to either eradicate that or just learn to live with it. And, you know, I need to get this grass on the edges out of here. Fennel is doing great. You know, I got pretty much 6 of them in each little, kind of outlining the bed. Cosmos on the side here. I should have some sunflowers popping up on the side. But either way, bed's looking good. And then, you know, my raised bed, stuff's really taken off here. Cabbage is, you know, doing what cabbage does, growing big. You know, I kind of weeded this a little bit, but you know, what you see here are my carrots that I planted in February, and they're just now really popping up and showing themselves off to the world. The 2 kale plants I saved for seed are going to seed, just as planned. And then I decided to transplant my gray zucchini yesterday. So that is going well. And I need to cut the grass also. And then, you know, over here, the aronia, I did transplant that into a larger pot, and it's doing very well. It's got flowers. It may bear a small bit of fruit this year, per the flowers, but, you know, the next couple years it should really take off with production, which is exciting because I don't think I've ever tried aronia berries. Herb garden is starting to come back to life, but I think I lost my rosemary. I think she did. I'm not sure if it was the temperatures, which we did have, you know, as far as Maryland is concerned, a pretty bad winter, or if it was just the constant moisture in the soil. You know, we're kind of right on the edge of where rosemary can be a reliable perennial, and I think she may be dead. But, you know, I can just head down to the garden store, get another plant, and put it, you know, maybe in a warmer spot. And then, you know, sage coming back, rosemary, or I'm sorry, oregano. Marjoram should be coming back, really taking its time there. You know, I got my chives and a little lovage. I got some cilantro rearing its head. You know, this little experiment worked out really well. I'm actually, you know, you ever just try something that pops into your head and it works way better than you thought it did? Had to just thin these the other day, but these are going to be the baby's breath, and they've grown in the pots spectacularly, just like I thought they would. Shiso coming up, and cucumber, I'm sorry, the Mexican cucumber, the pepinos, they're like little miniature watermelon looking things. And then, you know, I decided to put a hibiscus in here. I've got a little rupture wort. So, you know, the idea is the rupture wort will kind of form a little cover. I'll put like 3 or 4 different types of flowers in here. It's funny that I use this big one as a decorative planter because I'm so much more obsessed with food. But I don't know, man. I'm starting to go more towards flowers. Lemon verbena survived the winter and is producing some beautiful foliage. I'm going to, I think, repot it and give its feet a little more room to grow. Got a geranium as a gift. And then, you know, here's my basils, okra, you know, my artichokes, which are going in soon, all my tomatoes, which are going in soon. I mean, everybody's going in the ground soon. I really just need to carve out the time to do the transplanting and then make sure the weather is appropriate. So, you know, I don't want to put them in when there's going to be too much rain and lower temps, and I also don't want to put them in when it's going to be hot as shit and I have to come out and water them every day. So it's just finding that balance, you know. So anyway, that's the garden. I think I've rambled on long enough. Still a lot more to do on the side of the house. Still got to weed eat, or you know, whatever people call it, trimming. Got to cut some grass. Got to repot some stuff. There's always more to do, but you know, it's really shaping up, and I think it's going to be an awesome spring and summer.